Welcome to Staff Works Explained. If you are here for the first time, please consider subscribing to this channel. In this video, we'll be talking about the construction starting for the SGR extension from Suswa to Kisumu and Malaba, and it's finally beginning, and according to Kenya Railways, this will start in July 2026. For years, discussions about extending Kenya's standard gauge railway SGR beyond Suswa have revolved around plans, feasibility studies, financing conversation, and regional integration plans. Now, after a lengthy period of preparation, the project is moving from drawings and boardrooms presentation into physical construction. Kenya Railways has confirmed that construction works on this line are scheduled to commence in July 2026, marking the beginning of what could become one of the most consequential transport infrastructure projects undertaken in Kenya since the completion of the original Mombasa-Naivasha SGR corridor. This development raises an important question. If the project was commissioned early in the year, probably March 2026, why is construction only starting now? The answer lies in a reality that is often overlooked in public discussion about infrastructure projects. Commissioning a project and commencing construction are rarely the same thing. Let's look at the project where we see that the project does not begin with equipment on site. From a project management perspective, construction is only one phase of a much larger process. Before the first excavator arrives on site, major infrastructure projects must pass through a sequence of technical, environmental, legal, social, and administrative stages designed to reduce risk and improve the chances of successful delivery. According to Kenya Railways, one of the most important milestones achieved in recent months was the completion of route planning and validation exercise. This exercise involved extensive technical assessment, environmental reviews, social impact evaluations, and consultation with stakeholders along the proposed railway corridor. In practical terms, this process determines where the railway will pass, identifies potential challenges, evaluates environmental and community impacts, and provides information required to finalize engineering design. Without this stage, construction would proceed with significant uncertainty, increasing the likelihood of delays, redesigns, disputes, and escalating costs later in the project life cycle. The completion of the validation exercise therefore represents far more than a procedure requirement. It effectively establishes the foundation upon which construction can safely and efficiently proceed. Why land acquisition is happening now? Another key reason for period between commissioning and construction is land acquisition. This week of June 26, Kenya Railways intensified preparation in Kisumu County through public engagement meetings, which involved landowners affected by the proposed Kibos terminus. The meetings provided affected property owners with details of the terminus design, project timelines, and implementation plans. Officials from the National Land Commission also explained the compulsory land acquisition process and the Land Act, including property valuation, compensation procedures, and legal rights available to affected persons. Inspection of gazetted properties are scheduled to begin as part of the acquisition process. While land acquisition is often viewed as an administrative exercise, project managers consider it one of the most critical activities in infrastructure delivery. Failure to secure land before construction begins can halt the project's midway, trigger costly legal disputes, and significantly delay completion schedules. By conducting consultation and evaluation exercise before major construction activities commence, project implementers are attempting to reduce those risks and establish clear path for delivery. Now let's look at a project moving from planning to execution. Recent site visit by Kenya Railway Managing Director Philip Mainga, together with representatives from national government agencies, county governments, the National Land Commission, and China Communication Construction Company CCCCC, indicate that preparations have now entered the transition phase between planning and execution. In project management terms, this is referred to as mobilization. Mobilization involves preparing project sites, coordinating stakeholders, confirming access to land, validating designs, deploying resources, establishing construction schedules, and ensuring that regulatory requirements have been met before large-scale works begin. It is a phase that attracts less public attention than groundbreaking ceremony, but often determines whether the project ultimately succeeds or struggles. Now, what the extension is expected to achieve? This extension from Suswa or Naivasha to Kisumu and eventually to Malaba. It is intended to connect these three regions, connecting Naivasha to Kisumu and eventually to Malaba, the Kenyan-Ugandan border. And this will strengthen the northern corridor that serves as the East Africa's primary trade and logistics route. Kenya Railways says that the project is expected to improve regional connectivity, facilitate trade and investment, and create employment opportunities, as well as stimulate economic growth across multiple counties. The railway is expected to strengthen logistics efficiency by improving the movement of goods between Kenya inland regions and regional markets. For businesses, faster and more reliable transport can reduce cost. For manufacturers, it can improve access to markets. For communities along the corridor, construction activities and supporting services can generate employment opportunities and stimulate local economics. Now, the questions that remain. Despite the progress, several aspects of the project remain unclear in the public domain. Kenya Railways has confirmed readiness for the construction and ongoing stakeholder engagement. However, detailed information regarding final project cost, financing arrangements, construction timelines, and completion targets has not yet comprehensively been published through the updates which are currently available. That does not necessarily indicate a problem. Large infrastructure projects frequently release information in stages as procurement, financing, and implementation milestones are achieved. Nevertheless, transparency remains essential. As construction starts, public confidence will depend not only on visible progress but also on continued disclosure of project scope, timelines, risks, and expected outcomes. Now, the start of a new chapter. The significance of July 2026 is not simply that construction is beginning. It is that years of planning are finally transitioning into implementation. The months between the project commissioning and the commencement of the works are not a period of inactivity. They were spent completing route validation, finalizing design, engaging stakeholders, preparing land acquisition processes, coordinating government agencies, and mobilizing resources for delivery. Those activities may not produce dramatic images, but they are often what separates successful infrastructure project from a troubled project. The true measure of Suswa Kisumu Malaba SGR extension will not be the announcement that are made today. It will be whether the project is delivered efficiently, responsibly, and in a manner that produces lasting economic value for Kenya and the wider East African region. Construction is now set to begin. The planning phase is giving way to execution. And for the first time in years, the vision of extending standard gauge railway deeper into Western Kenya is moving beyond plans and becoming a reality. So thank you for reaching this far. If it's your first time here, please consider subscribing this channel. You can watch other videos that we have made on this extension project as well as other projects of this nature. So let's meet in the next one. Thank you.